it's a one-way ticket. So that's it's so joyful for me to see everything that's unfolding, because I will feel that my journey has served a good purpose. All right. So all we have to do is come up an order of energy, an order of magnitude. It doesn't take much for us to simply look around what's happening in the world and simply quantify it as separation. You know, that's what we're dealing with, whether you call it the matrix or the 3D construct, or you go into every category of division within the divide and conquer environment that we've been living in. The ultimate goal and the end result is separation. And it's important for us to appreciate that the separation is deliberate. It is not an accident. And we are not to blame, but it is the time in which we are responsible. I want to share with you that the separation that has been planned and programmed is part of your neurology, your biology, and your priceless emotional creative energy is kept inside the box of reality that is represented here with the Sri Yantra. I could talk to you about how in this world, the way that separation is achieved is by deliberately disrupting the sacred relationship between the circle, the line, the dot, and the spiral. It's just that simple. There is a very, very basic information set that will take us everywhere, and it is a representation of our wholeness.
That works like and is like what our eyes are structured like. This is why it's referred to as the eye of God. And it's actually the first eye of God, but you could also call it the third eye of God, because two more form from this. This one, the first eye of God, is called the eye of Allure. And it is actually an eye that is shared by Ettore and Adore. It is the always open eye. This one never closes. And we'll see what the other two eyes are about in a minute. But let's look at this for one more minute, because I want to show you something else. Can I bring this down, honey, please? Thank you. Where in a minute you're going to see that if each one of these is a sphere, right? So you have spheres within spheres running through spheres. And if you made a tunnel of energy around each sphere, right? So each was transmitting a current as wide as itself, right? So you drew like a tunnel. Each one of these transmits a specific type of energy of a specific quantum. Right, the quantums that we talked about before, and the different types of energy, you know, be they etheric, telluric, atmic, etc., etc. Each one of them has a different type of energy. These are the core energy flows of the eye of God, and they create the core matter streams that will eventually form the quarks and sparks that form matter. But these are the core streams. We all have core flows. And one of the things in the mutation that's in our bodies and in our planet right now is those core flows have been shut off. So we have been finite. We've been left to just the finite structure of the light body to feed cellular regenesis. Part of what we do when we go into the ascension cycles and in regenesis of the cellular structure is to reopen the core flows. When we do the Journey to the Eye of God projection, this is what it's about. When we go through this journey, we are actually moving through frequency sets with our Rasha bodies. When our Rasha body moves through those frequency sets, our Rasha body is connected to our physical bodies, and it brings those frequencies into the physical bodies to begin opening the core flows in the bodies. And these are where those core flows come from. There's a whole other set of much larger core flows that emerge from the structures that grow from this. But this is the eye of God that we refer to. And remember, we are still in that Siddha cycle. We are still in trimester 2 of the Siddha cycle in that chart. And this is just the beginning. So the eye of Allure, or the first eye, the always open eye of God Source. And so, yeah, okay, next one, please. Now, if we make the spheres go away, but know they're in there, these would be the tubes or tunnels of energy that are coming from each one of them, that move back and forth behind creation point door and out into manifestation. These are the core manifestation and demanifestation currents. Right? These are the ones that are moving into the Adore system, and these are ones that are moving into the Ettore system manifestations. You could call these in relation to the Ettore side, would be the Ettore spirit side. These are the Ettore manifest side, but for the Adore manifest side, these currents would be the Adore spirit side. When we talk about that thing called the Iridanus energy is the spirit body of what is called our adjugate twin. An adjugate twin is, if you're manifest here, a thing that is manifest on the Ettore side, which means its physical structure is manifesting here, it implies its spirit structure is manifesting in the Adore side, and vice versa, which means at the same time, in the same place, you have an Adore manifest side that's manifesting that way, and its spirit body is expanding this way, where your manifest body is. The Iridanus frequencies are the spirit body of your adjugate twin, the other part of yourself that is manifesting on the Adore side. So there's a whole process involved, the natural process of ascension involves bringing together the adjugate twins, which means bringing together the two event horizons back into the center one out of which they emerged. And it is through that process that the matter form progressively respiritualizes and de-densifies in order to take what was manifest through the spirit body back into a spiritual state. So this is all part of the physics that are involved with the spiritual process of ascension. Next one, please. Wait a minute, do I have any words on that yet? I don't know if I put any on here yet. Each one of these has a name, of course, and would have a set of tones that go with it. And it is in understanding those that we begin to understand to where the word Christ comes from. Because remember, the eye of Allure is in there, and these are the core currents that are coming for the eye of Allure. He said the 7 core eternal flows of the Christ, 7 core currents of eternal life. They open into the Richelieu body and open into the eyes via the pineal. So this is from the eye of God. We are in our smaller micro versions of the spirit body. These are the currents that actually are supposed to come out our eyes and circulate through our eyes and those kind of things. There's another one. I'll show you where the name of the Christ comes from, where that word actually comes from. Next one, please. Nope, not the next one. Be one after that then. They're just showing you all that you saw in smaller form. Summary sheet. What did we just look at? Yeah, all right, here. Now, the eye of Allure is part of the eye of Allure was that structure that formed at the center, the first eye. Now, this structure also, because those different spheres of energy are moving through each other and making sparks. They generate sparks, they generate quantum, they make backflow, and at a certain point they pull the whole thing out of manifestation into the consciousness field of source and then bring it back out, replicated. So the eye of Allure comes back out with 2 more eyes. Now, they would all look like this too, where they have the heart of God and the eye of God structure. You'd have the eye of Adore and the eye of Ettore. These start circulating more currents. So you'd have the eyeball structure, you'd have the one in the middle, and then you'd have one pointing out this way and one pointing up that way, where it literally gives you the configuration like we have in our own heads, where you have the 2 eyes, and then there is actually a 3rd eye. That 3rd eye is the pineal, and it's been mutated because of the gene code mutation, but it does work as this, and we're starting to turn that eye back on. That is the all-seeing spiritual eye, the first eye of Allure, that connects to the spiritual. It connects the spiritual and the other.